Welcome to Videodrone, folks. It's a podcast about TV, movies, popular culture, and right now we are talking about The Last of Us Season 2. My name is Ben Vanel, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Tommy Dasilo.
Hello, Ben. Thank you for joining me. We were talking about meds off the air. I've got a packet of Voltaren just staring at me like the Green Goblin mask on my desk.
Okay.
Let's see if I get tempted at any point to pop one of them. But one of the great men is joining us today. It's GREG LARSEN.
Thank you. I can't take Voltaren because of my stomach issues.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Bit of trivia about me.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a pretty cool fucking guy.
I've had to, because I've a very bad back, and I've had to take the non over the counter Voltaren before, and they give you a they advise you to take an antacid. A gas X or something, whatever it's called, because it can really muck around with your tummy. But we're all hopped up on goofballs today. I feel that it's fair to disclose that my laptop is propped up on a 10-inch Cloud Strife figurine that I purchased.
What do you mean propped up? Like, how?
Well, otherwise, you mean the box?
Like, the box. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's on the box. It's on the box.
I thought you meant you've got like an articulated figure and you've like, you've kind of like moved his arms up so that he's like just holding the laptop above his head.
Or
like
you've just like
box.
cleverly balanced it on the top of the Buster Sword.
Yeah.
You are swaying back and forth in our window, so that makes a lot of sense.
No, it's still in box. It is museum quality.
Wow. And we have to
collectible.
say, the bravery of being in Japan and purchasing something like this whilst on holiday with your partner is hugely commendable. That would be something that I would think would be a solo trip that you would keep hidden from your partner at all costs.
No, we spent... Oh, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to say, like, I also think that the shopkeepers and everything, when you went in there, would have been insanely impressed. They would have gone like, "What? Wait, you're a white guy, and you know about Final Fantasy? You know about Cloud? Holy shit!"
Wait, you know that it was a different Super Mario Brothers 2 over here? What? How did you...
Yeah, it was called
grow up here
Panic.
or something?
It was reskinned. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of gaming lore.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's
no,
not
I
a
made
bad little guy to be.
I made a remote correspondent of The Last of Us, as is Greg's partner, Bridget. I made her probably spend about 5 hours in Akihabara with me, just looking for Final Fantasy, Akira, Ghost in the Shell related merch. It's all fucking One Piece and Dragon Ball now.
It's awesome too because you've been there so many times and just going, couldn't you have done this on any of these other trips when you were with Tommy? Someone who shares this interest with you?
No, when I was here with Tommy, we were busy having sex.
Yeah, we were busy having gay sex. Anyway, beautiful episode this week of The Last of Us. Really
Absolutely.
tender, really touching.
No, let's get into it. Episode 6, the penultimate ep.
Can I just say, I it was glossed over, but when you said really touching, I said touch my dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm happy you highlighted that because
Yeah.
And there was no
people-
laugh or anything, and I was just
People
like,
might have heard
maybe...
it in the mix. We didn't hear it at the time necessarily, so I'm glad that you circled back to it. But, I'll drop the ad in there so that people have a bit of time to sort of recalibrate themselves when we come back. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, good.
Hit the ads 4 minutes into the episode.
Well, I mean, people will be keen to stick around and hear more because we literally have not talked about The Last of Us yet. But
it's true. It's true.
This was the second last episode, which I think you called this last week, Greg, maybe, or even Tommy, or possibly it was me. Full flashback episode.
Yep.
Full flashbacks. There was a lot of stuff that we knew kind of that was probably going to have to get in before the end of the season for sort of the audience to be on the right page. But there was a little flashback right at the start that nobody saw coming, featuring the guy from Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah.
The guy, Lalo.
The Lalo.
The fucking guy.
The man.
It was funny because my partner was watching before that, I don't know, some show that was like one of the worst shows I've ever seen, where it was like a woman who died and then was inhabiting the body of another lawyer to
Okay.
back with her boyfriend. Doesn't matter. But
It's awesome to know
Howard,
this much detail about it, but not the title. I love that.
I don't know the title. I don't want to know.
No.
I don't want that knowledge poisoning my mind. But Howard from Better Call Saul was in it, and she goes, "Look, that's your mate, Howard," and I went, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And then immediately after, we watched Last of Us and saw Lalo.
Lalo.
Yeah, Lalo.
Lalo.
And then you flew to New York straight after that and went and saw Glenn Ross on Broadway, and you were like, "Holy fuck, it's Saul Goodman."
I didn't know that.
Didn't you?
I didn't know that was going on.
Yeah, it's
No,
him,
me
Bill Burr,
neither.
and Kieran Culkin are in Glenn Ross.
It's annoying. I wish now that
wow.
I had not seen Glenn Ross, and also had the money to go to New York, and also would go to New York in this climate, which I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But if those three things had lined up,
Had-
that's all it would take.
If I had money, if I had not seen Glenn Ross like 4 times,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
Donald Trump had not
Yeah.
in power,
Yeah.
then I would go to New York and I
Yeah.
would see that play.
Yeah, it's
Fuck.
interesting. I hope too many people don't feel the same way, because even if they have the money and they're in New York, but Donald Trump is in power, so they're sort of forbidden themselves from going to see it. What I assume is a fantastic performance.
If they leave the house, they might accidentally walk past Trump Tower, which would be very triggering. I assume Bob's playing the Jack Lemmon role. That'd be a sweet casting.
Yeah, I've not seen it, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, do yourself a favor.
right.
Great little flick.
Yeah.
Great little flick. I mean, it
Yeah.
is. Was it a play originally?
Yeah, I think so. I assume so,
It
yeah.
feels like a play. Like
Yeah,
when you watch
yeah.
the movie, it's like, like 3 locations, all
Yeah.
dialogue.
Yeah. And the movie was written by Mamet, who is like a playwright, so that makes sense. It's one of the old timers, Tommy. Some fucking great dialogue. One of the great Alec Baldwin performances, top 3 for me. Obviously 30 Rock, Glenn Ross, and Rust. Just one of my faves.
I was gonna
Rust,
jump in and say Rust,
yeah.
and I thought I bet, and he's building to that gag, and I won't jump in and say.
Number one with a
Yes.
bullet for me.
Okay, well,
Can I just say,
that's
like,
tasteless. That's tasteless.
Thank you.
is it? And I think the answer is yes. But is it genuinely fucked that they are releasing Rust?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that fucked?
it's pretty
It's
insane.
pretty weird. When you
Yeah.
think about movies that have been like, gotten pretty far along and then, completely shelved for other reasons. Like I don't know why it's back in, this is so off topic, but I don't know why it's like back in the news lately, but like, remember Bill Murray got like kind of almost cancelled or semi-cancelled or whatever for like on-set conduct of that film that Aziz Ansari was directing. And they just kind of scrapped the whole thing. They just went, oh, well.
Yeah.
They just abandoned the entire movie like halfway through filming, which seems
Yeah.
so costly instead of like
and then
replacing
another
him
movie, someone got shot in the face because of criminal negligence.
Yeah.
We better make this movie happen.
We'd better put it out. People are going to want to see it. It's not going to be weird at all when they get to what is like obviously the scene where a
Right.
person died as a direct result of this bit in the movie.
What's crazy too is, like, without even a shadow of a doubt, whoever the production company is or whatever, I don't fucking know. Like, they would have just gone, like, let's be real, people are talking, everyone's going to see this fucking movie.
Right.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, they would have just been like, this is good, people will see it.
Yeah.
What do you reckon's happening in the booth when they get up to that scene on the director's commentary? Just a bit of let's just give this one a bit of oxygen, boys. Let's just let this one go through to the keeper.
Yeah. The cinematography was great that day.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
He's not in jail.
Yeah.
And whatever the case is, too, like, regardless of, like, this movie's going to suck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
like,
It was
sight
like a
unseen. It's
no
just gonna,
budget.
It's going to be shit.
no
It's gonna be a
budget
shit
Alec
movie.
Baldwin film. Yeah, 100%. They did. I mean, like, I feel like, yeah, in modern times they tend to shelve stuff, but like, because the Twilight Zone movie obviously had that like fucked.
Oh,
death.
that was crazy that went
Yeah.
ahead.
That was insane. And then The Crow is the other one, right? Where Brandon Lee, it's the same
Yeah.
scenario
And
as Rust, but yeah.
The Crow, I could at least understand because it was like, it was the on-screen actor, he was the star. They were like, his last film, we want it to be seen, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
bit
But
like
it's different when it's
tribute
just-
to him. Yeah,
And I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but I think it was like legitimately just a terrible accident versus criminal negligence and also a shit movie and Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. It's funny to think about the number of people at a formative age who based so much of their personality on The Crow. And like
Yeah.
imagining that in like 20 years time, but for Rust. So like someone who's now like a young emo completely adopting their entire persona off of Rust.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this film. I don't know where it's set. I don't know the plot. I know Alec Baldwin's in it and someone died. I know a gun makes an appearance at some stage, but I don't know anything else about it. Is it like a Western or something? What is it?
Who gives a shit?
who fucking cares? Yeah. Well, we got literally a millisecond into the episode of The Last of Us before getting completely
Yeah.
distracted.
Okay. All right.
So we see the backstory. We see a flashback to Joel as a kid, Joel and Tommy.
In the
Yes.
80s.
Yeah, in the 80s, Tommy's worried that his dad's going to beat the shit out of him. Tommy's dad comes home. Joel says he's going to take the rap.
Yep.
And Tommy's dad is a Lalo from Better Call Saul, playing Lalo from Better Call Saul,
Yeah.
which is a weird choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Setting them in the same universe doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't really track because
No,
I think
'cause-
like by the time that everything's happened in Last of Us, it's still like present day Better Call Saul, and we don't see any evidence of that in Better Call Saul.
Right.
Wild.
It's a bit-
And then we know that Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad are connected somehow.
Right.
Yeah. Unless
And
they
then-
live,
and that
they all.
happens.
Yeah, maybe they're in a sort of sealed, hermetically sealed, like version of America where the zombies didn't get them. Maybe.
We got to get on with the episode.
And one other thing about Rust that I
And I
want to bring up.
started this. I know. I realize.
You've got a heart out too, which is the best bit.
Yeah, I've got a hard out. I got to be gone.
Okay. I didn't even know that. And you're the one who's fucking.
Yeah. And can I just say, bold choice to have the Skellingtons come in this early in the episode.
In a flashback. In a flashback to the 80s.
In a flashback
Yeah.
to the 80s, and then someone said, I'm going to invent the Skellingtons. It was a scientist in a lab that said, let's invent the Skellingtons.
Yeah. It was like a
Yeah.
split screen with the Joel flashback.
So Joel and Tommy's dad, he's a cop, and yeah, Joel's like, "Oh no, it was me. I got hauled in. I was, I tried to buy drugs off this guy, and he was giving me the business, so I beat the shit out of him." And the dad's like, "What do you think? I'm fucking stupid. You're taking the fall for your brother." And he's like, You're not gonna hurt him. You're not gonna beat my beautiful little brother."
And then the dad's like, yeah, I'll give you a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he has an emotional speech where he says that his dad beat the shit out of him. And
but
he's
like,
worse. But worse.
Yeah.
He's like, what? And then young Joel is like, is that supposed to make me feel better? And he's like, no. But like maybe you'll be like, I'm a little better than my dad, and maybe you'll be a little better.
Yeah, by the time you're, what's the exact lines? Like by the time you're, hopefully when you have one or down the line, you'll be, when the time comes for you, you'll be better again.
Yeah.
When it's your turn. When it's your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sort of says that, and then he's like, and that's the last time you're going to hear this in the episode, by the way. That's just a little bit of wisdom I've thrown out, and that's not going to come back in any way. So, and Joel's like, I've honestly already forgotten that you said it and what you said. So I certainly won't ever bring this up again in my own life. Bye, Dad.
and then the dad goes, well, better go beat the shit out of your little brother then.
Now, Joel, do you want to take a look at this gun and just confirm that you're satisfied that that's not live ammunition in there? Because I'm going to go and I'm going to go brandish this in Tommy's face just to scare the piss out of him.
And then we see fast forward to Ellie is turning 15, 14, 15.
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Joel,
it's like first they've just gotten. It's not long after they've gotten to Jackson, so like after season 1 has ended.
and we see Joel talking to what's that guy? The guy that hates Seth. Yeah. He's sorting something out. He's getting something for Ellie.
He's doing a trade. He's giving him some Legos.
That's right.
Yeah, I love Legos.
He's like, yeah, Legos.
He's like, my grandkids will love this. I'm like, brother, you'll probably love it. Have a crack.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, this is good because ever since there's this apocalypse happened, I haven't been able to watch my favorite show, Lego Masters, with Hamish. And then he goes to a shrine of Hamish Blake.
Oh.
Yeah.
And starts checking off.
Yeah. There's a lot of photos there, but they're covered in some kind of viscous fluid.
Which I mean, we have the benefit of the doubt of this being some kind of like, infected born sort of sludge. But
sure,
I think the real ones like us, we can see through that and we know what it actually is.
It's
It's human cum.
Haim, he's covered you in cum.
So we see Joel now. Come on, guys, clean it up.
Come on.
Sorry.
We see Joel.
Sorry.
We see Joel now, and he's got the guitar. He's got a guitar. He's fixing up a
Yeah.
guitar.
He's making one from goddamn scratch. Speaking of Lego Masters, he's fucking he's
He's
sticking
a
the
guitar
little-
hero. He's a guitar hero.
Absolutely, 100%. He's a
Thank you
guitar
very
hero.
much. Yeah.
He's a guitar hero, you might say.
Yeah,
I would
said
say
that.
I would say he's a guitar hero.
That's what I said, guys.
I would say he's a guitar hero and a band hero. He has the drum kit too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say he's Beatles rock band.
Yeah, rock band. That's it.
Band hero. You thought they
wasn't
brought
there a
out the
band hero?
competing game and called it Band Hero.
Wasn't there? I swear to God, there was one. I swear to God, there was band hero.
Look up band hero.
There we go. Fire up google.com.
Here we go.
What do you got? What do you got for
Band
us?
Hero is a 2009 rhythm game developed by Neversoft.
Oh, shit.
Oh wow.
And published by Activision.
Well,
So I
it was-
knew they brought it out. I knew they did.
Formally on the air, Greg, I sincerely apologize.
Yeah, good.
Roasting retracted.
All right, see you guys. So he gives Ellie the Band Hero kit.
Yep. The starter kit. And this looks like a beautiful unit that he's crafted himself.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Yeah. And he's got his birthday cake that Seth made for him. And Seth, this dumb motherfucker, this goddamn hillbilly, can't even spell Ellie. I mean, for God's sakes, man. It's not
That is
hard.
pretty dumb.
Okay.
That is really dumb.
That's fucking a low bar.
Yeah.
We also skipped the bit where, like, the night before, Ellie's burnt her arm. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yes.
Which I don't know about this bit. I'll say overall, I loved this episode, but this bit specifically, because, we'd seen her either last episode or the episode before kind of tell this to Dina. It was a combination of her sort of like having described it and then just sort of actually, I kind of felt like you do one or the other kind of thing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think, like, literally, like she says, I
says
want
the same thing.
I want to wear short sleeves again, which
Yeah.
is exactly the same line. But
Absolute from before territory, but
yeah.
yeah. So she's singed her arm to cover up the bite marks, so that she can cover that up. And anyway, they're having their little birthday celebration. And then what? Yeah, where do we go from the end of this?
I mean, she's loving it. They have such a like it.
Seth, I need you to get me some Maccas. I need you to whip me up a McGriddle.
Yeah, I think this is just like this is establishing how good their relationship is early days. Like they've survived this insane thing. They're so closely bonded. It really is that father-daughter relationship. And,
now they get to kind of enjoy this sort of domesticity. Like they live in it, like she's living in they're living in a house together. So it truly is like. And her room is all. Friend of the show, Angus Truscott, was very excited to see that she's got a Weezer poster in her room.
Oh yeah, she's cool. She's
cool.
got a Kurt Cobain poster. And then also in this part of the in this flashback, we see Joel play the Pearl Jam song "Future Days" to Ellie for maybe the first time, which obviously becomes such a huge motif for this season. And beautiful. This had the waterworks going in the hotel room in Osaka. This whole episode really, I think, was so sad and beautiful.
Even the robot toilet was tearing up.
The bidet was shooting.
This had the slime works going on my end.
Yeah. And who's the shrine to in the Larsen house? Is it Hamish Blake still?
Yeah.
He's among the many.
Yeah.
Adorn the shrine of cum.
Yeah, beautiful, wonderful.
You got Rosso in the mix, don't you?
Yeah, I got Rosso. I got Hamish Blake. I got Rosso, and I got Hale
Martin?
Paste.
Oh, okay.
Fatso the Wombat's in there. All of them just absolutely drenched.
The great men.
It's the Australian fast bowler. And Uncle Arthur, who was that Glenn Robbins' character?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
and just Glenn Robbins in general. Like, I've got
the guy,
I trapped him.
The actual.
Oh yeah. Well, he's
do the dance.
Nice.
He hates it.
Do the dance.
Do the little dance.
Do the little dance. Rusty.
So yeah, and then they're having a good time. They're having a great time, and then the song is emotional, and then we fast forward to the next year, and they're on a little trip.
Yeah,
it's her birthday again, and they're on a trip, and she's like, "Where are we going? Are we going to see a dinosaur?" And he goes, "You wait and see."
Just you wait.
And then it's literally a dinosaur.
It's dinosaur season. We're back. A dinosaur story. Remember that?
Yeah, roll back the rock to the dawn of time and sing this song with me. Yeah. John Goodman is the voice of the T-Rex. Beautiful film. Beautiful picture.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a Don Bluth animated film.
Shrine of Cum.
It was a ripper. I think you'd like it, Greg. It's all on YouTube. We're back, a dinosaur story. But I think this was probably one of the most anticipated, bits of the show for me. Like I can't remember, Tommy, how much we kind of focused on the giraffes bit from season 1, but like one of those moments of true sort of like beauty and respite from the horrors of the world. But this in the second game, I think it's just such a beautiful moment, and was really well done.
Yeah. She's super excited to see the dinosaur. She's climbing up it. Joel's like, "Would you get down from there? You're gonna bloody hurt yourself." And she's up there and she can see the museum kind of off in the distance, and she's like, "Whoa, there's a museum there." And he's like, "Of course I fucking know there's a museum there. Get down and we'll head over there." It's being a little rude to her. It is her birthday after all.
Yeah. Fucking shut up, bitch.
You're embarrassing me.
Shut the fuck up, Billy. Shut the fuck up.
Embarrassing me in front of the dinosaur. God.
And they get to the museum and they have a little good time in the museum. They look at a planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a little
And then they
planetarium
see-
display thing that's that Joel's been there earlier and greased on up for her. He's got
Yeah.
a little crank working.
It's a bit
Greg,
inaccurate,
anything
though.
to say on that?
It's a bit inaccurate because all the planets are round when they should be like flat discs. But I don't know. That's
Well, I think on my TV they're all flat, so maybe that was like a sort of hidden.
It's actually incorrect. Like the flat Earth theory is incorrect, Ben.
Oh,
What?
It's not right.
Wait.
It's not real.
I beg to differ. I think it's actually true.
Okay, well then let's. Okay, welcome to Debate Town.
Yep. Hit me.
The Earth is round. Yeah. So that scene.
I can see it.
They then see the Apollo 15
Yeah.
capsule. And Ellie, and they get in, and she gets a helmet out. Joel's like, "You're going to smash a window if you want," because kids
Yeah.
like smashing windows with rocks. And
Yeah,
she
you
smashes
should
a
rock.
window.
Go for your
gets a
life.
helmet out,
Fuck yeah.
and they sit in the thing. This is one of the scenes too where I want to mention, because I keep seeing like criticism of Bella Ramsey that is just like fucking. I just reckon it's bullshit. I reckon all the criticism of them as an actor is bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
they're so good in this scene. Like, what Bella is really good at is like literally, they are like a really good adult and kid.
Yeah.
If,
Yes.
like,
yes.
you see like a genuine switch, just the way they carry themselves, like the way Ellie just walks and talks as an adult is like, I don't know, she's just got more confidence and more, everything. And this scene is like I'm seeing Ellie as a kid again. I don't know. I just think
They've got to do so much different jumping across this season. Like, even like jumping around the time frames and jumping around like how Ellie feels about Joel in different moments and how she feels about Dina in different moments and what kind of trajectory she's on. It's like, it's and even just, as we talked about in Ep 2, like that scene would have been just, brutal. So hard to film.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, people are just fucking idiots, right? Like, it's purely that Bella has a young looking face.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, It's purely that, like, their face is young looking, therefore doesn't have the heft as an actor or whatever. And it's just like, it's just wrong. Like, I just reckon it's wrong.
I think like they display so much range, like you said, Tommy, and also just true believability and a sense of realism, of like emotional realism with this stuff that is so extreme, and also it's set in this crazy unrealistic world, or at least crazy non-real world. I think it's done as realistically as they can, but I agree, Greg. I think Bella is brilliant in this, and I think this episode as well, like, because last week we talked about how with the killing of Nora, Ellie, she just kind of goes cold. She goes like, her eyes turn into like shark's eyes, and talking to my partner after watching this episode, Bridget was just like, now you understand. Now you understand the extremity of that revenge, where it comes from, and it is because of this really well illustrated past, and sort of the connection between her and Joel, and what happens later in the episode as well. But I think all really well portrayed by Bella Ramsey. Totally agree.
Yeah.
And like, this is like a cool scene. This is like exactly like in the game, where she sits in the cockpit or whatever the fuck it is in a spaceship.
Yep.
And then Joel has a tape of like the Apollo mission taking off, and she closed her eyes and imagined she was going into space.
Yep.
Is that what happens in the
Dreams
game? I
of a
couldn't remember.
Yeah. Wait. Oh,
Yeah,
is
right.
Was that a gag? that you just made?
No, I couldn't remember. I thought it was like there was like a simulation in the pod in the game or something, but it's just like a visualization of that audio. Yeah, right.
It is. It's literally the same. Like she has a tape of
right.
the mission, and like just closes her eyes and imagines, and like in the game you see like you never see what she sees, but like you see like I guess the reflection of stars or something. I can't remember.
Right.
It's like like she's imagining she's going into space. It is basically exactly the same. Like
sick.
You see the lights change and everything, but that's all just in her mind. That's what she's imagining.
I thought in the game it was like she puts the tape on and it's Evanescence playing, but maybe I'm getting confused with something else.
Oh man. You've got to edit that together.
Someone has to edit that together. Someone has to edit. There's got to be there's a million edits. Like she puts the tape in, and then immediately hear like doop 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 doop.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
Ball with the ball, but dang, diggy, diggy.
Well, then and then you can also do real fucked ones, like because there's an audio tape of the Jim Jones like mass suicide.
Yeah.
Like an audio tape of just a news report from 9/11. There's so many memes.
So many. Joel, oh, sorry, wrong tape. Give me 1 second.
There's like, it's Cartman singing Carl's Mum is just bitch. Well, Cartman's bitch is a big cat, bitch is a big bitch. It's kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, right. This is meme city.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on this now.
Make a supercut. That's what your heart out at midday is. You knew you knew some little task was gonna come up.
Yeah. I gotta make some fucking memes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that happens. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful moment. They leave, and then Ellie sees a bunch of little fireflies sparkling around in the bush.
I hated that.
Yeah,
I hated that. Like,
yeah,
I just hated it. Like actual fireflies. I don't know why I hated it. I just hated it. I hate anything that's a literal metaphor.
Right.
I just didn't like it. I just was like, nah.
Too much.
Do not want.
We ain't that stupid. No, I agree. We like rewound it to be like, was that actually that was what they would do? Like we thought we maybe missed something that was actually, of it, but it's like no. Okay.
Nope.
She remembers what fireflies are, and it makes her think of the fireflies.
That is dumb as shit. You can literally just show, like, you don't always have to know exactly what every character is thinking at every specific moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can literally show her lost in thought and her going, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And you, the viewer, will be like, "I wonder what she's thinking about," and it's fine. Like a viewer can wonder about a character's motivations, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to literally show actual fireflies flying around. That bit sucks. It sucked. This tiny little bit fucking sucked.
Edit that clip out and replace it with one of the little meme supercut things we're talking about making.
Or like have her look off, and then you see the skeletons dance for like 2 hours, and then Joel's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, sorry, yeah."
Sorry, How long was I out for?
Yeah.
Quite a while, actually.
Sorry,
really long time.
Yeah. Well, okay, if you say so. Whatever you say, baby girl.
Yep.
So 17. Ellie's turning 17. Troublesome age.
1 year
she's
later. Yep.
she's starting to get a little bit of rebellious streak in her. Joel's improved the cake. The spelling's correct, but he walks in on lesbian love scene.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Lesbian muck around.
Yeah. Yep.
And he goes up and they're smoking weed. She's getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
Like everything all at once. You're full. You're experimenting with girls, and she's like, "I'm not experimenting." He's like, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about."
Yep.
He's old school.
He is old school.
And yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, I don't know, fucking understand. He's, he doesn't understand her anymore. It's tense, but you can see that he's not. You can see like maybe like, and this is good because you see like when he leaves the room, it doesn't show him looking at something literally to tell us exactly what's going on in his mind.
Doesn't look at a pair of scissors and
and then a crucifix, and then look between them and go, which one is the correct one?
Yeah.
He's like, you just see like, does he like in that moment? I'm wondering, does he like does he immediately go, oh, maybe I've been too harsh, or I don't know, or is he concerned about where her life is going, or that he's losing her, or like what? Like we don't know.
It is funny. I mean, that is such a actual like real world. A certain type of parent being like, oh, my kid's going off the rails. Like, next thing it's going to be this and this. But to like still have those kinds of fears in a world where it's like the actual danger out there is so real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, my kid's into rap music. It's like
Right.
to still have that as a concern is like so crazy in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
I
I
think-
guess Joel does, Joel does still have those instincts because he was around before, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think that's sort of also what he like. I reckon that's what he sort of realizes as well, because like we have that scene, and that's sort of like followed by it's like Ellie looking at the garage because she's going to move out there, and then it's like fucking midnight, and it's raining, and Ellie and Joel wakes up, hears all this sound. She's going to move.
Yeah.
She's and like in the middle of the night, which is actually like I think a really cool scene because that is exactly what a fucking 17-year-old would do. Is like, I'm moving now.
I'm gonna sleep in there right now.
Now. And then she's
yeah.
like, and he's like, you like even like you're a fucking idiot for doing that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And and then there's like they get the mattress up and everything, and he talks to her a little bit. And is this the moment where he says like, "Oh, your tattoo's pretty good. Like the design's pretty good." Is that
I
this
think
bit?
so.
So yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's this bit. Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, you're right. Let's set you up in the garage, but let's do it in the
he's like, we'll do it.
goddamn morning.
I'll help you do it. Like I'll help you fucking do it.
I'll
Like,
fucking connect the power and the plumbing. Like, just let's.
Yeah.
I think also Greg.
Or
Yeah,
maybe that's the next morning. I don't know. I think it actually is the very next morning. Like he's like, I will help
Right.
you set it up. Yeah.
right.
But either way, it immediately follows this bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and that bit, Greg, where Joel is, like after the fight, he's like standing in the hallway. I get like he's because the thing with Tommy at the very start was like, yeah, Tommy was like trying to like get into doing drugs and was fucking around, and he's obviously thinking of his father, and he's like thinking, I don't want to push her away, especially not in the world that we're living in now. Like you were saying, Tommy, like. Sure, she can move to the garage. That's better than her fucking moving out and me not knowing where she is and being able to protect her. So yeah, that's 17. That's but then yes, because he also goes and talks to Gail during this flashback.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's after he talks to her about the tattoo because he's asking about moths and stuff.
Yes.
And I think that's the moment where he sort of realizes like, like that he overreacted and it wasn't nothing that she's doing was that bad. And maybe it was a bit on autopilot. Like dads are supposed to be mad about tattoos and weed, but also we're in the apocalypse and does it actually fucking matter?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, the tattoo's pretty good and blah, blah, blah. And then he asks Gail about the moth. He's like, what does a moth mean?
Yeah. Does it mean like regeneration and rebirth? And she's like, no, that's a butterfly, you fucking moron. I like how she's like, am I like Lucy from Snoopy and I've got a little sign saying the doctor is in?
Yeah, I
good.
really like her. Like, I like this character. I think she's good.
Yeah.
She's like,
Great,
like what the fuck? And then she's like you people like study dreams, and she's like, only the idiots.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like it's true. Like I like that there's. I also like that she's in the minimal way that she's involved. She's a realistic depiction of a psychologist and stuff, because it's true. Like I've been to believe me, I've been to a couple of little psychologists and psychiatrists before. No one's ever fucking talking about dreams. No one, like that's not like that might have been happening in the fucking 1900s, but like it's not like that's not modern psychology.
Yeah, it is such a trope of media from like 15 years ago. The guy lying on like the Chase lounge in his therapist's office being like, I keep having this dream. It's like, you imagine like modern day 2025 if you went to a psych and you were like, yeah, I had this dream where I was like falling. They'd be like, I'll let you cancel the session now and not have to pay for it. Are you serious? Like, just Google it, brother. Like, don't spend $700 on this.
Yeah, it doesn't mean shit, you fucking idiot.
It means you had too much milk before bed.
You should fucking This scene was good, and she was like, "Yeah, you're a fucking idiot if you believe in dreams."
Yeah. However, what the moth symbolizes, moth means death.
Moth means
so.
The dreams
Ellie's
don't mean
thinking about
anything.
death.
What I have to ask you is, in the last, like, say, year or so, has she seen a bunch of fireflies kind of just sort of fluttering around in the real world? Because that would mean something.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's any like kind of memories attached to fireflies that would be relevant to her, maybe that could be something worth sort of delving into yourself. But Ellie's got that death moth on the arm.
Yep.
And then bang, we jump to 2 years later. Ellie's turning 19. And she's rehearsing, these questions that delve into what actually happened, the logical inconsistencies, the fact that, his story just doesn't add up, what actually happened that day.
This killed me. The fact that she's doing the rehearsal, I found, I found very funny.
Yeah. I like that. And I think
going around town trying to find an actor to play Joel to kind of sit there with her and...
It would like that's another little edit because there's a scene where it like sort of she's talking and it cuts to like just an empty chair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you edit in Nathan Fielder with his laptop, you'd be a fucking hero.
Just nodding his head.
But so like I think that was kind of cool. I liked it, and it also shows like. It's very clear. I think just the fact that like she's asking those specific questions, like I think it's clear to me that she knows the actual answer.
I think
she's not an idiot.
Yeah.
She's not an idiot, and she's realized by now, like
because she would know too. Like if she brings this up and the answer is no, like definitively no, then it's like this is going to have. This could really damage our relationship. The fact that he would then think that I would think that, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're not going to mentally delve into this unless you're like pretty certain that.
Totally. Yeah. And she's obviously been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
And she's obviously like, to me, partly not asking it because she knows what the truth is. Like she doesn't want to know the truth a little bit because
she can't handle the truth, Greg.
Yeah.
Just say it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to quote 12 Angry Men. Just say it. Why are you always dancing around it?
Wrong movie.
Fuck.
So then Joel comes in. He's like, "We're going on patrol, bitch."
Yeah.
She's like,
pack your bags, bitch.
And she's really excited, and that's like it. Almost like she just sort of, for a moment, just forgets about her questions and stuff because she's been wanting to go on patrol for a while.
Yep.
She's like, sick. We're going on patrol."
Yep.
They go on patrol, mucking around, looking through the looking glass. What are they called? Magnifying optics, binoculars,
telescope, binoculars. Yeah, that's right.
Looking around, and then there's a bit of banter. She's going, "There's nothing around here," which it's just a dumb little thing, but it seems weird. It's like, you're in the forest, and he's like, "Don't worry, this is a safe area," and it's like, is it? I mean, like, I don't know, but anyway, they're going around, and then they hear on the radio there's been an emergency, someone's been attacked.
Yep.
You're the closest. Joel tells Ellie go back, and she's like, no.
No, I'm not your fucking kid. I'm
not your
partner.
kid. We're on patrol.
Yeah.
I'm fucking, and then he doesn't have any time to fight. He's like, she's right.
Yep.
Yep.
And she's like, hey, now might not be the best time, but I've got some questions about
Yeah, as they're
about
like
the hospital.
as they're rocketing through, and he's like, "Can you just shut up?" And then like the
Can we
skeletons
table
come
this?
out, and the skeletons like that, and he's like, "Fucking, we don't need the skeletons right now." She's like, "Can we just watch them? Can we just watch them for an hour?"
God, it's
like,
just
"Can we
one of
just
those days, isn't it?
And yeah, they race around. They leave the horses up top this cliff, and they scramble down, and they find the fabled Eugene.
Oh,
Yeah.
the great man.
We've
both,
heard about.
both within and outside of the show, the great man.
Yeah, Joey Pants, Joe Pantoliano, Ralphie Cifaretto himself.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, yeah, cunt.
Yeah.
He looks. I mean, yeah, I guess he's older now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's how time works, bitch.
Holy fucking shit! Fuck
But he-
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's eating the steak, brother.
Yeah, well, that's I was going to say.
Eugene.
He looks more like Cypher in the Matrix than Ralphie, but
Yeah. Which is
Memento
funny
Zone.
'cause the Matrix is first, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matrix was first.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I didn't notice. I would have been like the whole time. I would have been going, "Oh my god!"
Which, you know what? I remember seeing like a while ago that he had been cast in this, and he popped up,
Right.
and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's funny. It's great that I had forgotten that, because otherwise the whole season I would have been going, when the fuck is Joey Pants going to show up?
Yeah. I didn't know he was cast. I knew that Catherine O'Hara was cast, but yeah. Eugene is fucking Joey Pants.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
crazy.
Joel,
That's
Joel.
fucking
You know, Joel. I just want that other line. I got that garbage line. It's going through fucking Jersey. I just want that. Just show me that respect. Just show me that respect.
She was a hooah.
She fell. I don't know. She fell. I father to a murdered son, and then he's like swinging a chain around, and Joel's like, "Can you fucking stop?" I was joking around.
Well, those ancient Romans, they had the right idea. They.
The king. Anyway, I loved this. I think we'd speculated, they'd kind of earlier on in the season, they'd brought up, Eugene had come up a couple of times, and it really did seem like, well, this really feels like they're kind of planting a seed here. And man, I loved all this stuff. So he's been bit. He's been bit bad, brother. Right on the bit like Cypher taking a bite out of a big old steak, just right there in the guts. And obviously the protocol is we gotta take you out right here and right now. And he's begging, he's pleading. Let me come back. Let me just let me just speak to my wife. Just I'll keep a distance from the town. Let me just see her.
Timing
say goodbye.
up. I just want to hear her voice.
Yep. Please. And Joel's like, we can't do that. You just know we can't do that. And Ellie's like, I think that we should do that. I think even though this is my first patrol, it's time for me to start just
breaking the rules.
Yep.
Yeah.
She does the thing that was done to her, where it's like hold out your hand and count to 10 and whatever.
We got
and
some time.
she's like, he's fine. We've got time. Blah blah blah. And then Joel says, "Go get the horses."
Yeah.
And Ellie stops for a minute because she's like, he's gonna kill him. And then and he goes, "I promise.
I swear.
I promise I will not shoot this man in the back of the head while he looks out at a beautiful vista." And he breaks every
won't
aspect of
lead
that
him-
promise.
Yeah, he takes him to a real fucking desktop wallpaper looking ass scene.
Yeah.
And he knows immediately. He gets down there and he's like, "Oh, this is beautiful." And then you just see this look on his face, like, "This motherfucker. This motherfucker."
But also, there's a moment where he's talking and he says, "I feel really cold." He's like, "I didn't know that it would do that."
Yeah.
And then you see Joel sort of look, and then he gets to a crossroads and he goes, "Which way is it, right or left?" And this is the moment where I'm wondering, like, has Joel intended to fulfill his promise? And again, we don't know. You have to wonder.
Yeah.
Because I definitely got the feeling when he said, I promise, like, I felt like he was like, I will do, like, I will. Like,
I think he
take
was
this
like
on.
hoping he maybe could, but are you saying like when he's like, oh, it's cold, Joel's going like, shit, it's taking hold. We don't have long.
right.
I gotta,
That's-
he kind
Too
of the
much of a
hesitation in
risk.
him going, go right. I think he's like, it's not like he's
Yeah.
immediately like, go here, bitch, boom. I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right. I
yeah.
think he has a moment where he's like, clocks it and he's like,
Yeah.
what he just logs on and goes, what am I doing? Like I can't.
Right.
This
Yeah,
puts
and it's-
everyone at risk. Like,
I think it's a double whammy of him saying that he's cold and then saying, which way is it? Like, it's like, you should know this.
yeah.
You know, because he's obviously like, this is a trail that they go on.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, you should know which way it is. You're saying you're cold. And I think he then just, and also by asking which way it is, he's literally giving him another option to decide to kill him.
Yeah,
He just-
sure.
You know, it's making him think again, am I going to take him home or am I going to kill him? And he decides to kill him. I think in that moment he decides.
Yeah.
And I think, and then it's like, man, that is such a good scene where he's like, I don't need a view. And he's like, I'll tell your wife what you said. And he's like, I don't need you to tell her that I love her. She knows that. I need to see
I
her.
want to see her before I
Yeah.
go. I'm scared. Yeah, I loved this.
Yeah.
Just this,
Yeah.
like,
And literally just saying he's afraid to die. Like, he's like, I'm scared. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
her to be the last thing I see. Like,
yeah.
it's so fucking
I loved
real
that.
and
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
yeah. And it's like, just in that moment of like, it's, most people are like, let my kids know this. Like, I want to make, I want to know that they know and that they're okay. It's like pure selfishness of like, no, I want to see her. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm the one
yeah,
dying.
Yeah.
I'm the one who
there's
needs
nothing
the
I
comfort.
want to relay. Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah.
And then I also think, because the way that Ellie talks about how Joel looks and sounds when he makes this promise makes it sound like he was always going to kill Eugene. And maybe you're like you're saying, Greg, like putting those options out into the world of like, do you want to go right or left? It's like giving himself a cop out, but I think deep down Joel is always going to kill Eugene, and that's what he does. And I thought that was done really kind of quite nicely as well, where it cuts away, it's silent, and you just hear the birds fly up. See the birds
Yeah, I
fly
love
up.
that.
Yeah. See the birds
Yeah.
fly up.
And then we
Just
up
beautiful.
there, Kazali. I think that was a bit of an inappropriate needle drop, but anyway. So then we see them, dragging the body back, kind of behind the horse.
Can I just say another little edit that would be great is when those birds fly up. You know, what's that fucking music video, the Australian guy where like you see Jimmy Barnes over the horizon going,
Yeah, is it Kieran J. Callanan? Is that
Yeah,
song?
that's it,
Yeah.
see Jimmy Barnes going,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was this-
okay.
Was this episode designed entirely with internet muck arounding in mind? There's so many clear shots at the goal here.
I want to release the Greg edit of the whole like I just edit
Yeah.
every scene.
The Last of Greg.
Yeah.
The Last of Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, the Greg
The
of us.
The Larsen us. Yeah.
The Greg of Greg.
The Greg of Greg. Yeah.
The Greg of
This
Greg.
could be your life's work, Greg. I'd love to. I would pay
Or at least
good
the next
money for
7
that.
days.
I just seen that body kind of wrapped up, dragged behind the horse, big kind of red mark kind of bleeding through the fabric or whatever as they drag it in. Brutal stuff. They get him back to the town. Gail's there. They've radioed ahead to say incoming dead Joey Pants. Gail's super upset.
And Joel tells her, you know, like, we don't need to tell her the truth.
Yeah.
And Ellie like now sees behind the curtain kind of thing. Like she's And like, if there's any point where she didn't know, she just knows now. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Like she just definitely knows this is exactly like the lie that Joel said to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
he'll do whatever, and he's totally fine with just obscuring the truth. And
Yeah.
gets there, and he's like,
To protect the feelings of someone, you know, like that's his intent. He's not doing it to just be a liar, but there are some things that it's a little white lie to lessen the blow is not okay. It's it's almost a corruption of the truth because you don't allow that person to have an honest response to the reality of the situation.
yeah. And I think he still could have gotten back to the town and gone, hey, like he wanted to come back, but as we all know, the protocol is, and yeah, I mean, she would have been upset, but you would assume that most people in the town would be like, yeah, man, that sucks, but what do you do? It's not your fault he got bit.
Yeah.
It's not your fault we're living in this situation. And yeah, we've got this town here that is like, we have to protect it. Like, I'm sure a lot of people would want to come back for one last, you know, say goodbye or whatever, but that's just not how it works.
It's like, but it's also the same thing of like, you know, when people die in war, it'll always be like, oh, they died bravely on the battlefield.
Right.
But then like, you know, if someone might have actually died going, I'm really scared and I'm running away, and they're like, don't tell.
Yeah,
They don't need to know they were running away. What's it gonna do?
Yeah.
So like it sort of both things make sense. Like Joel's thing doesn't come from like it's like he's dead. She could know that he died wanting, like, really unhappy.
Yeah. Begging to see her face,
or I could just tell her that he was like accepted it and just did it himself.
Yeah.
Either way, it had to be done, and he's dead.
Yeah.
So like, but yeah, and then Ellie just straight up, like, she's so furious. She's like, nah, here's
Rats
what
him.
happened.
Yep.
And and then, you know, if Joel had told the truth, like, Catherine O'Hara character would have probably been mad at him, but she's doubly mad with the fact that he lied immediately. And
and I feel like that's the thing that would get around town, that most people would be like, man, I mean, he was doing sort of what he essentially had to do, but he came back and he fucking bullshitted her about it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like, we all get it. We all know we all know what it is. Like, don't, you know, give her the dignity give him and her the dignity of just, cutting it straight.
Yeah.
So she gives him a big old slap-a-rooney and, tense stuff. And then we cut to, we cut from here, right, to basically
New Year's,
the other side of what we saw in episode 1, where, Joel's sitting with Tommy and his kid. And, basically, what do they, I forget what they're sort of talking about here.
They're just vaguely talking about the skeletons and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Right.
What they're going to do with the skeletons and all that kind of stuff.
It's like
Happy
when
New Year.
you're one of the
skeletons.
when you're one of the skeletons, it's, you know, it's the skeleton family, and we respect each other and we love each other.
That's right. The bond of the skeleton.
And and Tommy's going, like, it's so hard for me to not, like, to have many thoughts on the skeletons, because as soon as the skeletons appear, I just can't stop shooting ropes of cum. And it's like that obscures everything that I think and feel, and like literally I can't see for the cum. Like, there's so much cum.
Yeah. You thought Hamish Blake set me off. Well, that's nothing compared
That's
to
nothing compared
what
to
the skeletons do to me.
will be.
Yeah, because Tommy also loves Hamish Blake.
Yeah.
Everyone in the show, I think we can assume, loves Hamish Blake.
Yeah, he's actually, like, it's Hamish Blake that everyone worships in the Seraphites.
Like, and in season 1, you know, when you see them when they're having movie night, what they're actually watching on that projector is like the one lost episode of Lego Masters that they were able to find.
Right.
Yeah.
And the bloopers from Real Stories. Real Stories?
True stories.
True stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're at the tail, and Tommy's wife says, like, sorry, I called you a refugee. Like, I mean, you are a refugee, but, like, she's like, you know, you belong here and
You're
stuff.
part of the yeah. She's like, you're you know, your family. We all need. Everyone in town loves you, Joel. Everyone in town needs you around. And I'd go so far as to say, if something would have happened to you, oh boy,
Tomorrow.
would people be really upset. Tomorrow,
Yeah,
If you were to get beaten to death tomorrow,
on the 1st of January, that would be bad.
I'd be fucked off.
Yeah.
I'd be so fucking dirty.
Yeah.
Joel
and then we
says, "Well,
see-
my New Year's resolution is to not get beaten to death tomorrow." So, you know.
And we all know how it's hard to keep your resolutions.
Yeah.
Someone said to me the other day, they're like, I haven't watched season 2 yet, but it looks so stupid. Like, Joel gets like stabbed in the neck with a sword. Why did they change that from the game to a fucking sword? I'm like, it's the fucking end of a golf club that's been smashed off, you idiot. He's like, oh.
Can you name who said it was a sword?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Anyway, and then we see like the other side of the Joel knocking over Seth. He's
Yeah.
like, get fucked, and Ellie yells at him.
Yep.
And then we cut to Joel on his balcony, playing his little guitar or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, no, you got it. Playing his guitar.
Playing his guitar.
No, whatever. He's some
Whatever
bloody
he's
grab
doing.
assing
Shit,
with
some instrument.
skeletons. Playing
It would be
grab
really-
ass.
It'd be really funny if Joel was just like just on the balcony going, "My name's Joel and I'm the president." And like Ellie walks past and he's like, "Oh hey,
Hey, I was just thinking about
looking
those.
around.
you're the president." I was just playing. I was playing.
Thinking about
president.
those fireflies that we saw 3 years ago. Just reminiscing about that. Yeah.
My name's Joel and I like to rap. Give me that rap. And we see the scene from Joel's perspective where Ellie walks past. We saw this in like episode 1 or 2, whichever the fuck episode it was. She walks past, and then Joel's sitting there depressed. He's real sad.
Yeah. He's
But then
brooding.
Ellie comes back.
Yeah.
And she stands on the balcony next to him. And this is the scene. And she asks him, like, they talk about Dina. It's clear that Joel is totally fine with Ellie's sexuality at this point.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
And I think at no point was he ever actually that upset about it. But now it's definitely clear that he's totally fine.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, so you like this, Dina? She'd be lucky to have you." And then Ellie's like, "You fucking asshole." And then she just confronts him and says, like, did you do, like, she's like, we are absolutely through if you lie to me.
Yeah, yeah. You've had 2 chances here. You know, you've lied to me once, you've lied to me twice. This is fucking 3rd strike time, my brother.
Yep.
Tell me. And she asks him, like,
Is this where she sort of says to him, like, when you were talking about Eugene, that was the same. I saw that same look.
You go, so that same face.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and I think, again, she knows, like, she's asking this question, but she absolutely knows what the truth is. So when she says, like, if you lie to me, it's not like, oh, I'll know. It's like,
no.
She knows what the truth is.
This is a
she
test.
wants to hear him say it.
This is a test for him to be able to, like,
To be honest.
prove that he can be upfront with her, and like she's
And
she's
it's-
not needing to know. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's that moment where he kills Eugene that she no longer has even the shred of doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is 100% what happened.
Yeah.
She needs to hear him say it. And so he says it. He's like, yeah, you were, like, no one, like, they would have killed you.
Yep.
There were no raiders.
There were no other immune people.
There are no others. Yeah. She's
They
like,
could have made a cure.
Could they have made a cure?
Yeah.
Yep, they could have.
And
But
he's
you
like,
would have
yes.
died. And she's like, that was my choice to make. My life
Yeah.
could have meant something. You didn't get to decide that for me.
And then Joel is just crying. He's crying
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a little baby.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's just like, I love you. Like, he just says, I love you. I would do it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
you
this
know.
is when he busts out, I'll be goddamned. He says, maybe you'll have one of your own. Maybe when what is it?
maybe when you have one,
Maybe when your time comes, you'll do the same, or you'll try and be a bit better.
Yeah.
As
You
a
do the
great
same.
man once said.
You do the exact same thing as I did. That's what he says.
But probably slightly worse if history tells us anything.
He gives a speech where he's like, "You're lucky I didn't beat the shit out of you because that's."
Yeah.
As a great man from Better Call Saul once told me.
Which was weird. I was like, "Why is this guy in my house? And what's Better Call Saul again? Because it's 1983."
And he brings out the guitar and he plays. There's another edit for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he plays, and he just starts wailing on that guitar.
Don't want to close my eyes. It goes into like a montage. And it's like 5 hours later, and you just see Ellie just sitting there, just going, "I can't do this." It's like,
Joel, the sun's coming up.
I must be lonely. She said, "Baby, and nothing else matters." That's right, child.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. Joel, what are you doing?
It's like, I forgive you. I fucking forgive you. I
Yes, I win.
100% forgive you for everything.
I broke you. I win. I win the argument. I done it. I win.
Yeah.
No, she says, I don't think I can forgive you for this, but I would like to try.
I'd like to try.
Turn on the fucking sludge works again, because we're all shooting
that's
ropes
it.
at how beautiful that line is.
Yeah.
Shooting some eye ropes, some salty eye ropes. Yeah.
I was shooting some ass ropes, diarrhea.
Oh, wow.
I was pissing in my own mouth. I was so emotional.
I was killing a dog.
I have fucking blood coming out of my ears. I was having such a good time.
I was diagnosed with Ebola, and my organs melted from the inside out. That's how fun
That's
it
how
was.
much this got me.
I was diagnosed with the Australian fast Ebola.
That's the worst and best joke I've ever heard.
That's so good. We got to run that up the flagpole to the great man and see what he thinks.
Yeah, I think he'd
Time
like
to bring that character out of retirement.
Yeah. Just wedge that
what
into
a
a quiz.
And that's when I turned to my partner and said, and it was the very next day that he was killed.
What are the odds?
And that was it. And then episode over. Cut to credits.
Yeah.
Cut to the fucking credits.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not cut to the credits. Cut to Ellie, present
Oh,
day,
Yeah. Good call.
in the rain,
Rocking back up.
rocking back up to the cinema or the theater or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
After she had beaten that woman to death in a basement.
Yeah.
And yeah, crazy. Like it was. I thought this was apart from looking at the fireflies. I thought this was a powerhouse performance.
I loved this. I really thought when it opened up and it was, I think, we kind of got a bit of a glimpse last week with the way the last episode ended that this might be the flashback. And I knew that the museum and everything was like a great sequence from the game and happy to see that adapted. But I will say, like, going into it at the beginning, it all being a flashback episode, when it's like the second last one, I was a bit like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is going to be a bit like, a bit much of a deviation from where we're at in like the main story. But man, I just loved this, like the way bringing Eugene back and having him be the real kind of catalyst for her definitively knowing that this guy has fucking bullshitted me. I thought was so many great scenes in here. In the format of it all being her birthday, like I loved it.
Yeah.
I would have it's super hard to separate what I expect and what I know from what I'm just watching. But I'm very confident that if I had never seen or heard of The Last of Us and I watched this episode, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
Apart from the firefly scene, it was just real good. I loved, and I really liked the. I loved the scene with Eugene. Like I thought it was really cool.
Yes.
I thought it was really like heart wrenching. I love that there's like some element of interpretation as well as to Joel's intentions. It's not clearly spelled out whether he was always going to kill Eugene or whether he made his mind up at the time. You know, like shit like that is good. I think it really, yeah. And that scene between Joel and Ellie at the end, terrific acting.
Yeah,
Oh my
I was
God,
going to say,
can I tell you what a great powerhouse performance of acting it was?
it was a thrill ride of a
emotional.
performance.
Yeah,
It was good to see Pedro back. Like, man,
Yeah.
like I love the cast that are, you know, still alive. And I'm enjoying, you know, I think we're all enjoying Bella and also Isabella Merced is Dina. Fantastic, like basically lead performances now, co-lead performances in the show. But yeah, Pedro's fucking great. He's such a good Joel, and yeah, like you say, the scene where he's fucking just bawling his eyes out. It's yeah, incredibly heart-wrenching, and I don't know, if we see Pedro pop up in The Last of Us again, maybe there'll be some more flashbacks down the track, but beautiful farewell, if that is the last we see, The Last of Us we see of PP. But yeah, fucking great app. And yeah, I don't know. I was a little curious how they were going to do this, given that it's paced a little differently. But I think that, yeah, like you say, Greg, it'll really hit hard with just viewers of the show. And I had a good emotional time watching this episode.
Yeah, these kinds of bits, they're very peppered throughout the game, aren't they? So I kind of think, like, for the maximum impact, you kind of had to do them all as one big block. I don't know if it'd work to have, like, an episode that's, like, 40 minutes of present day, and then we see one of these for 3 episodes. Like, I really liked the formula of going, like, it was also just cool to see, like, the, what things were like for them just after they turned up in Jackson after the events of season 1, and sort of see the progression of it all. I really liked all of that. And yeah, especially kind of underscoring like this nice reminder of, her being off on this sort of journey of revenge, and what she's done at the end of the previous episode just really underscores like where this is all coming from for her.
Yeah. I would have done one change if I were directing or overseeing the edit. I would have I think that, and this is not a criticism, this is just, I think it would have been cool, is if you cut back to like after that, like cut back to her beating that woman to death. Like that would have been real cool to see like the juxtaposition of like fucking pure rage.
Yep.
But that's just a thought that popped into my head.
Yeah.
Just sort of a different way of doing things, just a little idea. I would have pitched it if I was in the writers' room.
Okay.
I would have pitched it.
I would have
But
probably.
I thought it was a great episode.
I think maybe when we see Ellie sort of like walk out of the rain, and like, we see her face come up, like the hood sort of, and she leans back, the light reveals her face. And then what she's looking at is not the theater, it is the Skellingtons. And that episode probably goes, for another 7, 8, maybe 9 hours of Skellington content.
I knew that was as soon as you started talking. I think I would do in that.
Here's what I would do.
Waiting.
Oh, would you can't? Is this what you do? Or it could have been she's walking towards the theater as we sort of saw it, but then when you see the theater on the sign, on the marquee sort of sign, it says tonight appearing live, the Skellingtons. Just to make us go, oh hell yeah! Next episode, it is going the fuck down.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I started talking and didn't have a particular joke in mind. So,
There's always one ready to go.
Yeah, there's always one in the chamber. Thank you.
Well, should we get into our our quarantine zone?
That's right.
Thank you for joining us. If you're ducking out, if you have not played The Last of Us 2, the game, this is the bit coming up where we talk about, spoilers for the game, things that we're expecting to see, or how this differed from things that we know about the game. So, if you've not interacted with The Last of Us 2 previously, duck out now. Thank you for joining us. But if you are sticking around, here we go. Here comes the quarantine zone.
Welcome to the zone. Where lowest prices are just the beginning.
Thank you, Greg.
We're now in spoiler town.
We are. Any critiques? Any opinions on this?
Big time.
Being very, very different.
I meant 100% what I said, which is if I was watching this show cold, I would have no criticism of it, I think.
Yep.
But having played, my criticism purely comes from the fact, and it's what I talked about last week, and because I read an article, right? I read a bloody article.
Oh, okay.
Because there were a few people that I read a couple of articles where people were very critical of the way the flashbacks were handled, especially the flashback, because that flashback, if you remember, where she says, I don't know if I can forgive you, but I want to try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That happens right before the absolute end of the game.
Yeah.
Like right before you then see her with fingers missing, unable to play the guitar.
Yes. Yes.
Lost everything because of revenge.
Yep.
And that was very impactful. And then I read this, several critiques that were that was so perfect in the game, and it's we're robbed of that. It was such a powerful ending.
Yeah.
And now we're robbed of that. And then there was another interview where Neil Druckmann said that Craig Mazin convinced him they had to do it earlier because, of the year's gap between seasons.
Ugh.
And he's that, and this is the problem. This is the fundamental problem. If you have to, there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse for a year's gap between seasons for this show.
Yeah.
It should be going in, this is a powerhouse. This is a proven, critically acclaimed, award-winning, financial, absolute box office smash game. Season 1 was a massive hit. There's no reason not to fund 2 seasons to be filmed back to back. There's no, and there is sometimes a need. It was The Sopranos that originally started the trend of waiting a season, waiting a year before the next season,
right?
Because David Chase was literally I need time to figure out, where this goes.
Yep.
And that's a legitimate question when you're making something of that high quality, and also that's after doing 5 seasons in a row.
Yeah. That would have been on at the same time every year. They would have been adhering to that classic network schedule of this is when shows start. They couldn't even have 18 months bump back later in the year or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's completely original. There's no source material.
It's a completely original thing. He was literally had to figure out where the show goes and what happens, and wanted to make sure that it was all written like that very last one, that very last sort of half season was written completely from start to finish.
Yeah. And it's the first, it was the first prestige TV thing too, where it's as soon as it's on, people this is the greatest thing that's ever been made. So he's got the pressure of I can't write this. Yeah.
And if someone is saying, and if Craig Mazin is saying, there's a problem, we need to show stuff now because people will forget and they can't wait 2 years, that should be the issue where you go, well, then fucking let's push back if you're having to compromise, then don't compromise. Go.
Yeah, I kind of think for him to say that, he kind of contradicts himself, because it's okay, well, we've got to put that in earlier so people remember. But then at the same time, then why are you showing us? I was into the fact that they showed us that context of Abby at the start of the season. But now that it's pretty clear that we're not really going to see anything of her for another 2 years, I feel why have that in there? Why show us what they've shown of the Seraphites? None of this stuff is going to have any relevance in anything we're watching until another 2 years.
Right.
It's a bit to say that you've made that decision for those reasons, but then not really think of it with the other stuff. I think we could have gotten... I don't know. I keep thinking about how it would be so tough to get all of this into one season. Maybe you would have to make it like a couple of extra episodes or whatever. But if they had have adapted the entire game into one season of television, like, god damn, it could have been one of the greatest seasons of anything of all time if you like really went for it and put all of this in. But instead it feels like, because the other thing about going, well, people are going to be waiting 2 years now, it's like, yes, that's true, but then at a certain point it doesn't matter because people are going to come to it late, and you know, you can't really be building a show in with like the real world time gap as people are watching it week to week. Then it exists outside of that time frame anyway, and it's just all there for people to consume at whatever pace they want. It kind of doesn't. I don't know.
It doesn't. And it's the gap between, like, because season 2 is the season 3 is not going to even start shooting until like this time next year.
Yep.
So it's like that in and of itself is a absolute moronic decision by whoever made that decision.
Yeah.
Like, even if they couldn't do it all in one season, which, like, anything can be done, like, it's just a matter of, like, do we want to commit to doing it?
Right.
Like,
right.
It used to be normal. Again, I was talking about the show Rome, but, like, you know, season 1 of Rome back in the day was 12 episodes. It was, like, I mean, most seasons of Sopranos were, like, 12 episodes.
12, 13, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have made this, like, 10 or 12. I kept thinking about this episode as like, if you took that last little bit from it, the very, very end line from the game, and if you know, we all thought with episode 3 that it was a bit like are they going to leave and go pursue these people? It's like, it felt like real treading water. I kind of feel like you could have had this episode be season 3, right? We have this brutal thing happen at the end of season 2. We have a bit more context of their relationship, and then I feel like Epps, like the last like 4 and 5 felt like they could have been compacted into what, like definitely does feel like there's ways that you could have like sped some things up, had it be 10 or 12, and like already it's pretty easy to see the ways that you could have gotten all of this material from the game into a 12 episode season.
At the end of the day, it's like what I said before, where, like, you're not adapting a book, you're adapting what is essentially a TV show with playable elements.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't need to make changes beyond just wanting to make changes, really.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of changes that need to be made. You know, there are always some, but there's not a lot. And we already know, like, pacing-wise, story-wise, whatever. I mean, this was a perfect thing. Like, it was like, I had zero criticism with the game, the story, whatsoever. Like, everyone fucking loved it. So the way I see it, there's like 2 options. The 2 options, like, are just copy exactly what we did, you know, with only change what is necessary because we know it's great and we know people love it, and like, and maybe even make some like creative changes just for the hell of it, you know, whatever. But basically copy that and make sure either it's one season, like one long season, or just film it back to back. So like whilst season 1 is on, you're filming season 2, like, so at least there's not like a massive gap.
Yeah.
Even like just a normal gap of 1 year would be acceptable.
Yeah.
Like, either do that, just commit and go, cool, the game is fucking cool, let's make it and do it in a timely fashion. Even if we have to hold back a year, even if this season came out next year, because the season 1 ended. It was like an ending.
Yeah.
So that's one option, and that's entirely achievable. And anyone who says it isn't, they're wrong. Like, I know how television works. I know how production works.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, it's either like an executive going, you know, or I don't want to fully commit or something, or some stupid reason. Or it's people being involved in the show going, I actually want to do like a couple of different things, so I'm not going to. And it's like, no, get a contract and make them like commit. Like, it's easy. It's entirely achievable. But the other thing...
Oh, no, finish your thought, Greg.
I was just going to say, the other thing is you can then also just radically change it. And like, that's not necessarily a terrible thing, but you can't go like, it's like when you're doing stand-up. I remember learning this lesson really early, and I remember it was a lesson that Sam Campbell taught me.
Oh yeah.
When he had this joke, I can't remember the context of the joke. It doesn't matter. But the punchline was, he goes like, "Cheers, cunt." And it was funny because it's little Sam at the time. He looked like he was 13. And, It was funny.
Oh, at the time, yeah.
And he is performing at like this comedy club where they're like, you can't say cunt. You know, in Brisbane,
great.
for some reason, it's like, you're not allowed to say cunt. You're never allowed to say
yes.
cunt on stage.
Yes.
So you had to change it. And it's like, and softening it and compromising the joke was like, yeah, it's not funny now. Like the punch, like it's funny when it's cheers cunt. If you have to change it, then just do a different joke.
Right.
Like if you have to compromise on what the joke is, just do a different one. Because it's not like, it's just like, oh, you've done the worst. Like you've done a compromised version and it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like you could totally reinvent what the show is. You could totally reinvent plot points and whatever. And like, yeah, fans will go ballistic, but like, who gives a shit? If it's good, it's good.
Right. Right.
Or you can like do whatever you need to do to recapture for the film what made the game great. And the pacing and the way that it was done was great.
Yes.
It was
the
really,
way
really good. I mean,
particular story elements were revealed was a key part of why it was better than most other stories I've experienced.
yeah.
Yeah.
And genuinely, it like, up until this point in the game too, when I was playing the game, the entire time I'm playing as Ellie and going through Seattle and stuff, my opinion of the game was this is great, like the gameplay mechanics and whatever, like, but that's a whole other thing. But my opinion of the story was, yeah, it's pretty good. And it wasn't until we got to the Switch that I was like, holy shit, this is really fucking good. And it wasn't until we got to the end. Like the ending blew me away. Like the ending was like, this is phenomenal. This was the best ending. It like stayed with me for days. I was thinking about it. And it was like it was more like a movie than a TV show. Like it was so, like, and you need to keep that pace. It's the same with the first game. Like you need to keep the pace. Like you need to, you know, this should not be a to be continued. We'll pick up the story in 2 years' time.
I just really don't know how they're going to have. I mean, obviously, the finale of season 1 so great because the end of the first game is so great. But I just don't know how they're going to have in one episode even to just close out Abby's story. Like so much has to happen, and I just don't know how they're. I just don't know how they're going to have it be a satisfying end to a season of television.
I don't think
with
they
a bit
are.
of a even with a bit of a cliff. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're going to. I mean, I think people are going to be annoyed at the ending. I don't see there's any way of them having a bit where something happens that I like stuff where there's like a bit of closure, but then a little bit of a on top of that. That's cool. I just don't see how there's any way of them, having it be a satisfying final episode of TV.
And that's what I'm saying is like knowing what I know. Like if I didn't know anything, right? If this was all just me watching this cold, I would be nothing. I would have almost zero criticism of this show up to this point.
Yep.
But if it ended on a cliffhanger, and I always say this, if it ended on a cliffhanger, I would be fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
And like I just don't think in any way ending entire seasons on a cliffhanger is a good idea. I think it's a holdover from back in network television days when they're like, we need to fucking make sure that we get funding and we need to make sure people, watch. And I bring back to the point of Breaking Bad, like the cliffhanger in the season where like you see the gun and then it just goes cut to black.
Yeah.
You don't know what's happened. And you have to wait a whole year to find out. I thought that was terrible. I thought like you could have him, like you could sort of close it off, but still leave it open where like you just see Gale get killed and you see all that. And then you now know the power dynamic has changed.
Which is still a cliffhanger because it still is like, what the fuck's going to happen now? It's not just like a,
Yes, but it resolves one element of it resolves a story and it sets up another story.
Yes. And it's the same with like, and the opposite is true of like the next season of Breaking Bad. Imagine if like when he walked into the thing and the bomb was strapped to the wheelchair, if he goes, and then it cuts to black, and then you have to wait 2 years to find out what happened.
Right.
No, in that season, he blew up. Walt says, I won.
Yeah.
And like the story is closed off, yet still we're like, but now that he's won, now there's no one above him.
Yeah, the cliffhanger is like, what the fuck happens from here? Yeah, you're totally right. You got to give people something, and I don't see how they can, unless they completely, I mean, they could. I doubt they will, but they could just completely, bring in something entirely new that doesn't happen in the games at all to give. But I just, without seeing, the whole point of it is to see from Abby's point of view, and we're definitely not getting that. And we're going to have to wait 2 years for that. So I just don't see how, And
I do know, and I don't have a spoiler, like, this is like maybe spoiler alert for the next episode, but it's not. Like, all I know is in one of the articles I read, I stopped reading because it said like slight spoiler for the next episode.
Okay.
But it was like, this isn't really a specific spoiler, but I know that something very different happens.
Okay.
I don't even know more than that.
Yeah.
Based on like a trailer for the next episode, something that is very different from the game happens.
Okay. I wonder how long the episode is. That's sometimes a bit of a
well, that's the other thing. You want it to like, it's just the frustrating thing for me is like, again, knowing how television is produced and knowing what could happen, and like, it's just like, it is just a dumb, whatever anyone says, it could. Anything can be done. It's just a question of like will to do it.
I think that like that thing that Mazen said about like, there's things we want to seed now so that people know them because there's not going to be a resolution for 2 years. I think there's probably a truth to that, but it is a truth that has come after the fact of everyone at HBO telling them like, you need to pad this out to 2 seasons worth of content. Yeah. Like we
because
cannot
I'm sure
have
also
our
factoring in
best,
like
most popular show only go for 2 seasons, and then when they've made a 3rd game, then we can adapt that into a show. Like we need to pad out like half of it and add like the attack on Jackson and some other stuff. Chuck in all the flashbacks that would have been later on in the show into one episode that constitutes like an hour. Like those are those compromises that you were saying, Greg, of like, the quality will have to suffer, or at the very least the show will change, the story will change to match up with this arbitrary in terms of creative, but in terms of like, the business side of things, like, they've probably been told like you have to make it 2 seasons, and like we'll give you 7 episodes each, so chuck in some filler or chuck in some new stuff. Whether it's filler or not is different, but like, I think that's what it is. I think it is completely down to them wanting another show on next year that is still as popular as The Last of Us.
Well,
and
also
I think it
what
sucks.
we haven't really talked about in any of this discussion is, I'm sure this is a factor too. Like, they are still saying that at some stage there'll be a Last of Us 3, right? So they're like, so the fact that you've got the guy that works on the games working on this show, they can't get into a position where they are ahead of what is happening in the games.
Right.
Let's say you did all of this in 1 season, and then in a year and a half, 2 years' time, season 3 comes out before the game has come out. Like, they don't want to be... They don't want to be ahead of what's happening in the game. So it almost, to me, also feels like a bit of artificial, like we have to stretch that out so that we don't overlap.
We slow down.
Yeah,
totally.
we slow down to let the games have to be the first time people see this story.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, again, same with the game, right? Like, if Last of Us Part 1, the game ended on a cliffhanger, I'd be annoyed. But, Last of Us Part 1 is just, it wasn't even called Part 1 at the time. It was a self-contained story.
Yeah.
Part 2 was a self-contained story. Like, at the time when I played Part 2, it wasn't confirmed whether there would be a Part 3.
Yeah.
It ends, and, like, I don't give a shit about waiting for 3 years for season 3 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's like a sort of new story.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
do give a shit about waiting when I'm like, what happens?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen? And I think no matter what, I'm going to be like, and again, like, just thinking about if I was watching this totally cold, I'd be like, nothing is really resolved. I now have to wait 2 years. If I didn't know this fucking story, and then it's like 2 years where then you go, oh, wait, now who is this again?
Yeah.
Like, I know all the characters back to front, but if I didn't, I'd be like, who's that? And what are they doing?
To have these little bits of like I say, showing us these like flashes of the Seraphites to then have them sort of do like really nothing in this season. Like it hasn't, it hasn't led to anything. It hasn't really been relevant to anything else that we've seen. Like, I don't know.
And it won't be.
Why that?
Isaac as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
Sorry?
It won't be relevant until we get to Abby, really. Like,
Yeah.
And yes.
Again, unless they fundamentally change where the show goes. And which maybe they'll do that. And I think the only way that, like, the only thing I want now is for them to do that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get you.
If they're going to follow the show as is, then it's going to be a fucked cliffhanger and it's just going to wreck the pace. So I want them to fundamentally change what the show is.
And I think also too, like as we've said, we know what's to come, so we know we've got faith in the story overall. But I think for people who haven't played the games, they're going to get to the end of this season of television and be like, "What the fuck was?" You know what I mean? I think it's just going to really annoy people that don't know what's coming, and it's like, cool. Now I've got to wait like another 3 years to avoid people talking about the fucking game and accidentally spoiling it for myself, because that is the thing. It's not just like with Breaking Bad where you're like, God, I really want to know what happens. This is like, this story is out there. Like you can very easily like ruin it for yourself if you're someone that just consumes the TV show. If you want, you can. The temptation is there every day of the week to just get on YouTube and look it up.
Yeah, totally. And it's really easy to accidentally, like, I mean, I just saw I'll often watch a scene from the game like right after the show, and like immediately you see recommended videos coming up that are massive spoilers for what's going to occur in the game.
Right.
You know, it's really easy. Like, and even if you were to watch a scene, like, because I watched the scene where Joel and Ellie talk on the porch in the game, forgetting that it's right at the end, and it immediately cuts to Ellie at the end of the entire game with missing fingers.
Right.
And my partner nearly saw that, and I really quickly turned it off because I was like, that's the end of the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I wonder if there's any network executives that listen to this podcast. But it's just like, it's the thing that is like, it is the reason why network television is dead. It is the reason why so many streaming services are fucking floundering. It's the reason, like, because these fuckheads in charge just keep making, like, they're constantly dragging their feet, and they're constantly going, oh, well, you know, it takes time and blah, blah, blah. And we got to wait for this quarter for financial reasons. And we got to and we've got nothing on the slate for next year. So we're going to wait. We've got to push back and they'll give you a million reasons. But at the end of the day, you can just say, and that's why you're failing.
Yeah.
Like they'll constantly give you reasons why this has to happen this way and all the rest of it. And you're like, yeah, cool. Write that on a list of why my network sucks now.
Yeah.
It's like, like there's no immediacy. There's no like anything. It's like when video games come out, they just come out when they're done.
Yeah.
You know, when YouTube videos come out, they come out when people make them. Like, you know,
in
networks just drag their feet constantly.
In the column of why my network used to be good, it would say because good shows were coming out. It's that simple.
Based on the algorithm.
Yeah. We
Um,
found talented people and gave them money and let them make something good.
Yeah, let them do things at the pace that they thought was appropriate for what they were making. Well, we better wrap it up because Greg's got to go and I've got to go too. Jesus.
I wasn't quick enough with the sound.
All right, let's leave it there. Thank you for joining us, Greg. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thanks, everyone who's chipping in their comments and thoughts during the week. Love hearing from everyone who's watching the show as well. And we'll see you next week for the big finale.
Yeah. Bye.